Good morning. We want to, first of all, thank you all for coming out. I want to introduce who is up here with us. I'm State Representative Alicia Reece, representing 33rd District, Cincinnati. You will hear from our Minority Whip, Tracy Heard. You will also hear from Representative Michael Stinziano and Representative Kathleen Clyde. We stand here before you today on a very important issue, and I think the timing couldn't even be better, as we just celebrated Dr. King's birthday and what he stood for. One major issue was the issue of everyone's vote being counted for the right to vote. And so today, unfortunately, in our state, we have some areas where that's not actually being realized. And so as someone who has worked on this issue nationally, several voting issues nationally with the NAACP, the Urban League, Rainbow Push, and now as the state representative fighting 33rd District, it has been a major issue in Hamilton County these past few weeks on what we would look upon as an election nightmare. Where we have countless pages of legal briefs that have been filed in multiple courts over a differential of 23 votes in a judicial race involving two members of Hamilton County, one that is a resident of my district, and we're talking about provisional ballots that have been filed in the right polling place, meaning the right church, but the wrong pew. This case has grown so large that it has the possibility and the potential of going to the United Supreme Court. Several hundred votes remain uncounted in Hamilton County. 849 ballots were cast in the wrong precinct, with 269 of those votes in the right polling location, the right church, but the wrong pew. And those go uncounted today. But what we find is that this is not just a local matter. This is a statewide matter. And this issue just allows us to expose this issue more broadly. Provisional ballots are dealt with differently in different counties. I'll give you an example. In Ashtabula County, which shares House District 99, with Trumbull County, they only count a small subset of the right church, the right polling location, but the wrong pew within a single race. So we have two different counties who count these votes differently, and had this race been in a different district, the 23 votes in Hamilton County would have been counted. Across the state, we find this as unconstitutional. It has created a ruckus everywhere. You go to the Ohio Supreme Court, it's lots of confusion trying to figure this issue out. They've spent countless hours trying to undo this confusion and making them have to deal with a lot of close races that are taken to the Ohio Supreme Court trying to figure this issue out. We find that that is absurd, that a poll worker error would cost somebody their opportunity to have their vote counted. That's why today, while we have 2,200 poll workers in just Hamilton County alone, I mean, someone can make a human error. And unfortunately, because of that error, the individual's vote is not counted. The reason we're here today is to call for a standardized, uniform process through the legislature that would have a clear message on how we deal with provisional ballots and how we count them. And I'm going to ask for our Majority Whip, Tracy Heard, to come forward to walk you through the step-by-step in our bill that we're proposing that would standardize this process and lead to what we feel voter confidence.
Thank you, Representative Reece. Good morning. As one of the original sponsors of House Bill 260, the Elections Reform Bill, in the 128th General Assembly, as well as one of the members of the bipartisan bicameral team who worked with the Senate members supporting Senate Bill 8, also of the 128th, I'm disappointed that we were unsuccessful in executing a legislative solution for this issue. Had we concluded that effort, we would not be facing this injustice today. In our deliberations during the 128th, the subject of provisional ballots was not only addressed, but consensus achieved. What we're proposing today is based on that effort. We are proposing a poll worker checklist standard for determining whether poll worker error caused a voter to vote in the wrong precinct. This common sense checklist will replace the current outdated election official statement that is printed on the provisional ballot envelopes in most of Ohio's counties. It will ensure the voter is directed to the correct precinct, and it will require the poll worker to identify the voter's correct precinct on the form. If the checklist is not completed correctly, it will constitute poll worker error, and the voter's ballot will count. During deliberations over House Bill 260 and Senate Bill 8 in the last General Assembly, our bipartisan bicameral working group developed this very checklist, and it has been viewed by the Ohio Association of Election Officials, who found it to be a reasonable way to document the poll workers' tasks. It is unacceptable that we do anything less than go full measure to ensure every voter's ballot is counted. Looking for opportunities to exclude ballots is a direct assault on our democratic process and the rights of every citizen of this state. I'll now turn it over to Mike Stinziano.
Thank you all. Mike Stinziano, a new member, but also recently served as director of the Franklin County Board of Elections. So how we handle provisional ballots, both in Franklin County and statewide, is an issue that I've dealt with personally. At a minimum, our goal for this bill is that it will provide additional protections for those individuals who do arrive at their correct polling location. As we've heard, right church, wrong pew, it's an issue, and recently poll worker errors entered our vernacular with a court decree from a 2010 settlement with Secretary of State Bruner that's going to carry on until 2013. So to that end, we're looking to find a way that this checklist would be easily applied, that if someone shows up, even if it's at the wrong polling location, that they're not going to be directed to the right place, that we're going to be more able to clearly define where there is poll worker error. To that end, we're looking to be as friendly with poll workers. I know how hard they work, the time they take to get trained, how the rules continue to change, adjust, and shift, and how much they care to make sure they're getting it right. But now that we have this term poll worker error, the legislature should be working a little harder, and we're committed to working harder to add clarification so it's a simplified process. It's something that people, particularly boards, when they go and make this determination, which they're entitled to under Ohio law, are able to properly identify, well, this is where the mistake occurred, and have the right procedures in place so they can capture that. Very encouraged that the current Secretary of State Houston does want to clarify these kind of rules, and I feel this bill is a good step in that direction. And I will pass it to Representative Clyde.
Hi there, I'm State Representative Kathleen Clyde, coming from the 68th House District, Portage County. I also have direct experience with this issue, having served as the director of the Franklin County Early Vote Center, coming out of law school and helping over 50,000 people vote in the 2008 election. I've also talked to the local election officials in my district in Portage County as an example of how voters are being treated differently by county on this issue. Had these votes been cast in Portage County, they would have been counted. So we're treating voters differently by county. That's an equal protection violation. That's unconstitutional. And something that this bill does is try to clear that up. This is a confusing area of the law. Ohio has many more provisional votes than most states. It's a problem. We need to work hard to make sure that people are casting regular ballots, and as many ballots as we can are being counted, and that we restore faith in our system and are counting as many votes as we can. Determining poll worker error is very difficult under current law, so this will clean up that process, and that will help treat voters equally county by county. And it makes sense that if a voter shows up at their correct polling place, that their vote should count. And if they go to the wrong table in the polling place, the table on the right rather than the table on the left and cast their vote, that vote should count. And this, the way that some counties are choosing to do this is not voter friendly, and it's not protecting one of our most fundamental rights, which is the right to vote. I think that as a member, I hope to work on issues that are pro-voter, and we're not turning people away from the process by confusing rules, and your ballot doesn't count if you do this in one place, but in another it will. We need to make the process accessible. We need to make it clear to voters, and we need to work to bring as many voters into the process as we can and to count as many of those ballots as we can. Thank you.
We'll open it up to questions now.